shootings that you see in Chicago are by black people. When you're walking down the street late at night, guess what you're looking for? Black people.
In Chicago.
And you equate that with danger. And it doesn't take a lot of them to spoil the whole bunch like that. And we just want black people to take accountability and say, look, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. It just seems that every time I encounter you people, for the most part, it's negative. And sometimes extremely negative, like I could get a gun in my face. You know, that's a problem. And people go, well, you are just loaded up with hatred and racism. It's like, I'm really not. I'm a really friendly person. I'm a really polite, friendly person. I give everybody a chance. But if I'm someplace and I see some black person walking in with their pants sagging and they can't articulate what their problem is or what they need, and they're rude and they're aggressive and I'm in fear for my life, like, yeah, I have a problem with all of that. And people go, and these black people go, well, you're racist. You're racist. It's like, no, I just hate inconsiderate behavior.
Pause. Now, I know this is a short notice. Can somebody pull the clip up of Nick Fuentes on Candace Owens' show when he said that he's racist? Because people are saying I'm racist, people are saying I'm racist. The things that you're saying is actually racist. You can't couple it by saying black people do this. I'm afraid of it when I see a black person. But then what about the black people you see that don't have saggy pants? Do you still believe that about them? Because you're acting as if everybody you encounter is the thug. You don't encounter any reasonable black people. Then where are you living at that you don't encounter no normal black people? I've been all around the country, and yeah, some of them ends are dangerous and you can be fearful of them. But that's not every black person. I went to Birmingham, Alabama, around nothing but black people. Most people are normal. And then you got the thugs who you can look a mile away and be like, yep, that person right there ain't up to no good. But to say most encounter black people it is, it just comes across that way. And then he was on Candace Owens' show pretty much saying he was a racist. And that's why people think you're a racist. And of course, he said a lot of other crazy stuff about black people. He said black people should be in jail for the most part. That's not like, it's okay to say black people need to be held accountable for things that they do. That black people are, especially in these inner cities, are more violent. They need to be educated. I mean, make a preface to say in the inner cities and other things like that. That'll make it sound more normal. But when you try to blanket black people and say they should be incarcerated for the most part, you're losing touch with saying that you're not a racist. Because he's not just categorizing violent behavior. Because if you ask Nick Fuentes today, and if he listened to this, he'd probably try to have an argument for it if somebody asked him. But if you ask him today, who's the biggest threat to America? He'll say black people. I can almost imagine that he would say black people. Who are the most dangerous people in America? Black people. No, it's not. It's these blue-head leftist nut jobs are the most dangerous people in America. Antifa, dangerous people in America. White liberals, and through legislation, will destroy this country. They are the most dangerous people. They will get you locked up, shadow banned. They force you to wear a mask. They do all of this stuff that's detrimental to the existence of America. They have power. They have influence. Black people don't even touch a candle to these white liberals, to be honest.
Let me be real. It's almost to an extent that I don't really care about this dude even critiquing this type of stuff. A lot of people have known about, if you've been online, a lot of people have heard Nick Fuentes and heard him speak about black people, and many conservative, right, far right, whatever you want to, say, this is how they normally think. The easiest target for anybody to go directly for and to make content about and to talk about is black Americans, bar none. This is why every single time you see these black conservatives online, they seemingly, oddly enough, go directly into that main content. They heavy lean directly into it. Once they're done with whatever it is that they were trying to use to platform themselves, and once stuff is really not going the way they were supposed to be going, up, heavy turn to the right, and let me start talking about and heavily going after black people, this, that, and the third. Because I want people to understand there's a difference between critiquing, and then there's a difference between looking down upon, beating on, when it deals with a lot of these conversations that these black conservatives love to have so much. They don't really, at moment in time, critique the white community heavily. They can't afford to. And I do mean that literally. They can't afford to, because they're going to inevitably bite the hand that feeds them, bite the hand that platforms them, bite the hand that is on their memberships, their subscribers, their patron list, and all of these things. They can't really say actual real things. So they have to stay directly on talking about Black Americans in every single light, every single view, in every single way. Even when you can clearly see video or you can clearly see evidence that the black person is innocent, they still find a way to justify the ignorance and the actions of the police, the government, or many other people directly out there. And they'll back it up just like you hear white conservatives do. They'll use stats. They'll talk about their own experience, like, oh, I'm a black person, I grew up here and there and da 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 da. And let me sit up there and tell you what they don't want to sit up there and tell you. Let me tell you how they sit up there and how they treated me and da 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 da. And this is how they become that talking, person, that political stance. And I've always found it a little bit weird, right, that the conservative Republican Party are supposed to be the free thinkers, supposed to be the logical people. Okay, cool, no problem. But then at the same time, when that happens and takes place, you hear white folks and their conservative views about black folks. Okay, we expect that, no problem. But then for whatever reason, when you look at the conservative blacks, they think, act, and talk the exact same way as the white Republican conservative right wingers. And I'm like, how does that work? You said that you were off the plantation. You said that you are a free thinker, right? And now you're amongst a whole nother group where you are a low percentage. And for whatever reason, y'all both share the exact same talking points about black people. And now it gets to a point in your career where you want to turn around and you want to be like, hey, let me start sitting up there really critiquing this. This has gone far, far over the line. This has gone far too much. Nah, Candace Owens started doing the exact same thing too. Don't nobody got time for that. Once you make your career, after bashing and speaking negatively all the time about the black community, we're not trying to hear it. We're not trying to see it. Because the jig is up. We know what type of game is being played. And don't nobody got time for this, dog. Don't nobody got. If you don't believe me, matter of fact, there's a brother out here, content creator, by I like to call him Brother Reigns because I don't like to butcher names. I swear to goodness. And if you happen to take a look directly at his platform, you can peruse and go through the videos. He has covered Officer Tatum for years, and I do mean years. Since this dude, I want to say since he's more than likely just shown up on the political scene, he's done a multitude of videos directly on him and many other conservatives directly out there. So for anybody wondering, yo, Seiji, how I take you so long to finally start talking about these conservatives and Tatum, because I didn't need to. There were other people that clearly was doing it, clearly did a great job doing it. So there's nothing I could sit up there and add, in a sense, directly to it. So that's why I didn't do it. But in this case, I just saw this and it came directly across my board, and this is, looking just as it sounds, which is crazy. This is what I want for a lot of black conservatives to do. Again, I'm not stating that, oh yeah, I want every black person to think the same. And no, I'm not sitting up there saying that. But what I'm saying is, if you made a career in a sense off of doing something, stay directly in that avenue. The exact same way that you stayed bashing black Americans, the black community in general, when it dealt with a variety of things in order to get the money, in order to get the light, in order to get on these platforms that you wanted to get on, stay directly there. The moment in time that you see of a Nick Fuentes and many others, don't say nothing. There's no need for you to. There's no need for you to. We don't want you to. Like I said before, it's 1000% crazy how these things are there and are present clearly online. Every other black person can just so happen to see it, but these black Republicans, they can never actually see it. They catch up with it when magically it's too late, and then when they start talking about, now people are like, oh yeah, this is going too far. It's been going too far because this has been allowed to happen for the longest time possible, but people specifically did not care because it wasn't a bad reflection on them, because it showcases that, hey, well, I'm different. Me and my family, we never sat up there and did this. I never walked around with this attitude. I never sat up there and said this. I never treated people like this. I went to school and got my education, got my college degree, and I decided to make something of myself, and I decided that I wanted to sit up there and do this, that, and the third. And right, they do this type of showy type of deal to really specifically tell the white folks out there that they are the good Negro, that they are the better Negro. So they're going to be the talking face directly for them and also parrot their talking points because, quote unquote, well, I have to say because I'm black, because if you're white, you already know what the Democrats, what the black community is going to say. They're automatically going to demonize whites and sit up there and say you guys are racist when realistically you're not. You just care about your communities and want them to be safe. And, you don't want the blacks out there, coming through and doing this. Like I said, man, like, yo, just move away. Just erase this just mind wipe this directly from your memory. Act as though that it never happened, even though that has always been present. And you chose to selectively ignore it on purpose because it was going to hurt your money at the end of the day. There were a lot of black men who are conservatives, right? Who else is the other ones that we might have talked about and brought up here before? The Hodge twins. Yeah. I'll probably sit up there and have a little small video just like this, going over the Hodge twins and things of that nature. And I know way more about them than, in a sense, Tatum. I've seen his clips. I've seen his takes. I've seen some of the content there. And again, it's the exact same thing that I would normally hear, see, and get from white people, either white people that don't know nothing about black people, or then you got the white people that say that, oh, I got a black friend, or I live close to the black community, or I grew up in the hood. I went to urban schools, and oh my God, like I said, man, I'm sorry. I'm not sure if things are falling down. I'm not sure how things are happening for the content creator section over there for those black conservatives, but y'all need to get back to what it is that you guys are good at. And again, defending black Americans is not it. Talking positive about black Americans is not it. Right, you are on one side, specifically just stay on that side. Everybody else, we got this. Like, we've been sitting up there doing this without y'all. We can defend ourselves directly online. We got enough people to do it, right? But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video, and if you've run into Tatum's commentary and his content online, let me know what you guys think specifically about his content and the things that he has said over the vast amounts of years on the variety of platforms directly out there. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.